Hey, what's up, guys? This is AJ from the Comeback Sports Podcast, and this is Season 4, Episode 9. We had a special guest, actually special returning guest. It is Hudson. Welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I think it's been over a year since the last time I was on.
Yeah, we were just talking about, was it one time or two times we met? I know it was one because we talked about Indianapolis, and we talked about our draft for the 2021 draft.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll have to go back into the YouTube archives and see if there's been multiple occurrences.
Yeah, I remember we did a basketball segment, and that one really started to pop off because I think it was your predictions for mid-majors.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that was a good
madness. One. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And that's going to be the topics for today. We're going to be talking about college basketball since that's Huddy's specialty. We'll talk about the Pro Bowl, what we like or dislike about it, and what we would change, some playoff predictions for the championship games coming up this weekend, and then a little bit of college football transfers. So stick around. I guess before we get into the topic, you'll notice we have a blank screen behind us, and there's a reason why we have a screen. Huddy here is a coworker of mine, just like some of the other guests on the show, and he does some graphic designing. And he took the liberty to offer to make me a new logo for the show. So instead of the impact font, all caps, Comeback Sports Podcast, which I really like, but it's definitely time for a new logo now that we're kind of been doing this for 2+ years now. So I'm going to present the new logo that Huddy made, and here it is. So this is the Comeback Sports Podcast new logo that Hudson here made. Thank you again, Huddy. Right. This is really great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it on Spotify and all your different places as like the, what you see on YouTube will be cool.
Yeah, man. So kind of walk through a little bit of kind of your inspiration. I know we talked a little bit about what we're looking for. What kind of made you kind of come up with this idea in terms of like the details on the logo?
Yeah, so I know a lot of podcast logos use like one of these right here, a microphone. And I kind of wanted to do something a little different, so I did a speech bubble, kind of like that's what's in the middle there.
Okay.
What Comeback's in, it's got like it's supposed to be like a speech bubble, and then you got some of the sports around it that you talk about the most: basketball, football, and then there's a little running bib there for cross country. And I just kind of wanted to incorporate all those elements into one thing, make it look cool, make it look like, if I were scrolling through and looking at podcasts, I'd want to, if I saw something like this, I'd want to listen to it. And that was basically my goal in creating this logo.
Yeah, I like that it's relatable to the topics that we talk about in this show, especially the cross-country aspect, because you can't really do much except have like an animated stick figure running, but that's not as appealing. And as this, I really like that it still fits the vibe with the other sports icons on this logo.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's cool, too, that if you're just scrolling through looking at podcasts, you're probably not going to see a lot of podcasts that have cross-country in their logo. So this will be like a cool option for people who want to listen to that. They'll be able to see it right here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, so now that we got a new logo out of the way, let's transition to the first topic, Huddy, and I will let you lead off. So what's on your mind for college basketball?
Oh, lots on my mind. We're about probably halfway through, I think, the conference season right now. I think, Big Ten teams have 10 or 11 more conference games left. So we're kind of getting to that point now where we can start to look at what teams we think will make it into the tournament, what teams are going to be bubble teams. We're starting to get to that point of the season. That's like the most fun part of the season where we can start to talk about the tournament. We'll talk about it at work every day when we get in, what teams we like, what teams are trending in the wrong direction. I also made a couple of kind of cool lists I wanted to share and break down. That is 5 most surprising teams of the college season so far and 5 most disappointing teams of the year so far.
All right.
So if you want, I can just go right into that.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Cool. I'll start with the most disappointing teams. So I'll do the top 5, and I'll start with number 5, going down to number 1. Number 5 for me is Duke. They have been they had a really good recruiting class, and they have just been underperforming based on that recruiting class. The whole thing last year with Coach K's farewell tour, he's going to take all his time and get John Shire ready to take over as the head coach. And with all that preparation that went into it and everything, I just feel like it hasn't gone as well as it should have, and that they still had one of the best recruiting classes in the country. They're going to have one of the best ones again next year. So if it might get to the point where John Shire is not getting the job done, and you gotta look elsewhere. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Oregon. I had high expectations for the Oregon Ducks this year, and Dana Altman's team, and they're just kind of middle of the pack, Pac-12. We'll see if they can sneak into the tournament, but right now it's not trending in a great direction. Number 3 is kind of a funny one. This team started out red hot. They were number 1 in the country, one of the best teams in the whole land. UConn. They were people were saying they were the best team in college basketball. It was between UConn and Purdue for number 1. And then January happened, and they have lost, I believe, 6 out of their last 8 games.
Wow.
Those are all Big East matchups. Their record's still 16-6, so I think they can still make the tournament, but they're really going to have to turn things around here in the Big East slate to do that. I believe they're still ranked. Yeah, they're ranked 19th. Is that right?
I have them at 19th.
19.
Right.
Yeah, but they are just trending in the wrong direction. I mean, they're having a hard time, getting wins, losing 6 out of their last 8. Number 2 for me is a mid-major, actually. Shout out to the mid-majors. It's Loyola, a local favorite. For the last 5 or 6 years, Loyola's just been a staple of mid-major college basketball. They're almost making the tournament every year, or getting really close. They got really good players. They just have put together some really good seasons the last few years. And I feel like this year, I don't even know if they have a winning record. It's pretty close. It just feels like they kind of dropped off the map there, and it's kind of sad to see after they've been such a historic program the last few seasons. On top of that, I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you saw this or not, I saw it on SportsCenter last night at the Loyola Duquesne game.
Yes, I know you're talking about.
There was it was a prank, I believe. I saw it was a prank. But there was an Uber Eats delivery driver who brought out somebody's food out onto the court and was looking for whose food is this? But I saw on Twitter that he was wearing a microphone. Somebody was probably videoing him. But that was kind of a funny thing that happened with Loyola.
Yeah, that was just very strange because there was another clip where he was talking to another guy on the stands, and it made it seem this was definitely kind of fixed for some prank, especially when you mentioned the microphone part. So I'll be surprised there's going to be some YouTube video about how it definitely was a prank.
Yeah. It's a great prank though. I mean that's pretty funny. Probably not great for the players. Somebody could have got injured or stepped on his foot, rolled an ankle, something like that. But luckily nobody was. That brings me to number 1 on my list of most disappointing teams. I think we all know what this one is. It's the North Carolina Tar Heels, coming off of a Final Four berth last year. They came into the season ranked number 1. They had such high expectations. They returned pretty much everybody from that team last year, and they just came out flat, and they got themselves in a hole. They've started to play better as of late. They'll probably sneak into the tournament, and who knows, they could go on another run this year like last year. But those preseason expectations that we had for them, they've just not even come close to it, and it's been disappointing. I really like Hubert Davis as their head coach, but that is who falls at number 1 on my most disappointing teams.
I think an honorable mention to me is Gonzaga. Just because regular season wise, they always come on top. Yeah. And I can't remember the last time I saw a 4-loss team, Gonzaga, in this time of the year for them. I mean, looking at the AP poll right now, it's right in front of me. They're at 14th. They dropped 8 spots since the last poll. So it's when have you ever seen Gonzaga out of the top 10, yet alone the top 5?
Right.
So that's probably one honorable mention I would add to that list.
Yeah, usually when they go into the tournament, they only have 1 or 2 losses, but this year they already have 4. I bet you they lose another game or 2 as well. So it's kind of weird to see them not in the top 5. I feel like every year, probably last 10 years, we've seen them up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now I kind of wanted to go through my 5 most surprising teams. Number 5, Missouri. Our friend who's appeared on this podcast before, Brian Landino. Shout out to his Missouri Tigers. They find themselves at number 5 on this list. They have a first-year head coach. They brought in a lot of transfers, and they've been playing pretty good basketball. They just came off a big win, I believe, over Arkansas at home. I think they sit around 15-5 with their record. I could be wrong there, but it's around there. And I believe they are 6 or 7 spots, either 6th place in the SEC, which that is a tough conference this year. But they have definitely exceeded all expectations. I would have expected them to finish probably last in the SEC, just with coming in at the new head coach. It's never easy to start off winning in that sense. Are you looking up Missouri?
No. Yeah, just kind of see where they're at in their conference.
Yeah, I want to say they're 6th or 7th, and the SEC is pretty deep right now. But
yeah,
because you have at the top of the SEC, you have Tennessee and Alabama. Those are 2 of the top 5 teams in the country. So that's one of the probably the most surprising conference this year. I don't think we expected them to be that good. The SEC and the Big 12 as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. 15-5 is their current record.
15-5. And they are in 7th place in the SEC right now.
Yep.
I could see them, if they keep winning, they could probably get in front of Florida and Kentucky and finish in the top 5. But I think they'll be a bubble team come March. We'll be talking about them potentially getting a spot. Might depend on how other conferences go. But keep an eye out for the Missouri Tigers. Number 4 is the number 1 team right now in the ACC. Huge surprise. That is the Clemson Tigers. Clemson has just never really been good at basketball. They've always been a football school, but they've put together a really good team this year. I believe their record is about the same as Missouri's. I think it's actually 16-4. They're in first place in the ACC. They don't really have they don't really have a great resume outside of their record. Don't have any crazy big wins, but it's just kind of weird to see them atop a conference that has Duke and UNC in it, and Syracuse. But keep an eye out for Clemson come tournament. We'll see what they're made of, if they're the real deal or not.
Yeah, having a 12-0 home record so far in the season is a feat itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got UNC, Miami that are kind of in that same realm, in Virginia, and we'll see when it kind of goes to crunch time later down the end of the season.
Yeah, can they pull out those victories over those teams? We'll find out. Number 3 is a team you'll be very familiar with. You're wearing their sweater right now.
That's right.
The Iowa State Cyclones. Wow. I mean, I think we might have thought Iowa State might be decent at basketball this year, but they have been amazing. I mean, I watched a little bit of that game. What was that, 2 nights ago against Kansas State?
Yes, I did watch that one too.
And for them to pull that out, Kansas State only had 2 losses, and they were ranked, 3rd?
I think 5th.
5th in the country, top 5. That's a huge win, big program win for Iowa State, and this year has been full of them.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Iowa State is they're 3rd in the Big 12, and the 2 teams that are above them, they beat. That's Kansas State and Texas. So if they continue to go on this trajectory, there is a good chance they could lead the Big 12, especially if Kansas continues to struggle a little bit, because right now Kansas is 16-3 according to these standings. And if Kansas kind of stays how they're going, then there's a good chance for Iowa State to kind of climb up the rankings. I mean, you almost beat them too. I mean, it was down to a final possession, and that's pretty typical for Iowa State losses this season. It's just it comes down to that last possession in basketball. And, coming off a Sweet 16 appearance, the trend with Iowa State is when that happens, you kind of take a step back. But it sounds like they're taking a step forward.
Yeah.
So going into the tournament, I could see them making another appearance. Potentially, they might go one more step further up, or who knows. So I'm liking the trajectory so far, considering they lost one of their top players, who I believe transferred to Texas. I can't remember which school it was, but either way, losing a top player is a step back, and they still continue to go forward. And that's just kind of normal for Iowa State in terms of how they play, because if you watch that game, they're just a very scrappy, defensive-minded team.
They're
not going to be huge shot makers, because you got Gabe Kalschner and you got Jaron Holmes, who are leading the team. It's just 13 points per game. It's just efficient basketball, and you'll see that translate into the NBA. You got Tyrese Halliburton, you got Monte Morris. Those guys are very efficient, less turnover kind of guys, and that's just how they coach them. So
Gabe, what was his name? Gabe Kalshier, is that right?
Kalshner.
Kalshner, yeah. I remember, I believe he transferred to Iowa State from Minnesota, I want to say.
I think you're right, yes.
Yeah. The other transfer you were talking about, the one you transferred out of the program, I believe that was Tyrese Hunter.
Yes, you're right.
He did transfer to Texas.
Mm-hmm. And then back to my point, right now Iowa State is very good because they are ninth in the country in defense.
Wow.
So if they can continue to stay in that sort of realm and maybe improve their offense a little bit, the sky's the limit.
What's your prediction for their seed come March?
I would say 5 seed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it could be a 4 or 5. I have high expectations for them, though. You're right. I think they can make another Sweet 16 run, if not a step further, and make it to the Elite Eight. It'd be fun. That's going to be a fun team to watch over the next month.
I agree. All right, go ahead, Huddy.
Number 2 is the team they just beat, actually, Kansas State. Kansas State, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe they made the Sweet 16 last year like Iowa State did. They had no expectations coming into this year. They've not really been good since either when Bruce Weber first got there from Illinois or before then even. It's been a long time since Kansas State's been relevant in college basketball. And this year they are very relevant. They still have a good chance of winning the Big 12. They'll be competing with Iowa State and Kansas for that, and Texas might be in there as well. But they've just exceeded all expectations this year, and I expect them to make a deep run in March as well. They're led by what's his name, Keontae Johnson, who was the player at Florida who collapsed, and it's just really cool to see him make such a comeback like that. But that's my number 2 team. My number 1 team is the Xavier Musketeers. Wow, they have proven a lot this year already. They did lose to my Hoosiers, though, earlier in the season. We beat them by 3 at their place, which was nice. But it's Sean Miller's first year there at Xavier. He's coming back after being at Arizona for a while, and he got let go because of so many violations he broke, NCAA violations. But Xavier gave him another chance, which is where he was before. He went to Arizona, and he's doing great there. They just beat UConn. They've won lots of Big East games. I anticipate them to be probably a 4 seed as well. They'll be in that same ballpark. But yeah, they are atop my most surprising teams of the season.
Good stuff, Howdy. I really like these lists that you made. The camera's not dead yet, is it? Oh, I think it is.
Getting close.
I think it might be, but that's okay. So we'll do one more top, and then we'll take a quick break so I can let the camera refresh. So we'll make this one a little quicker one. Let's talk about the Pro Bowl a little bit. People like to hate on the Pro Bowl because it's just not that exciting, and there's reasons why. I mean, it's just for fun, and these players at the end of the season, so they're probably exhausted, and they may or may not want to be playing full contact football, and that's what happened. The game is now going to be a flag football game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And they have some games like little challenges. They have a dodgeball game. They have this lightning round game. They have longest drive. Oh, you like throwing the football? No, swinging a golf ball. I don't know how that's relatable to football, but maybe there's just a huge population of players that play golf, and that was maybe decided by the Players Association to include it. I could be wrong, though. They have precision passing, and then they have best catch. My opinion on these, it's subpar as normal. If I were to change it, I would want to bring back one particular segment or challenge. It would be replace longest drive of a golf ball with longest drive of the football. I want to see these guys, and we always talk about, so-and-so has the best arm talent or arm strength, or no, that's not true. So-and-so has the best talent. Well, all right, let's prove it then. Let's make them stand on the field and see how far they can sling it.
Yeah.
And whoever wins, that proves who has the best arm strength.
Now, would you count the roll after it hits the ground, or would you mark it right where it hits the ground?
I'm going to go by track and field rules, because when you do like discus or shot put, once it makes contact, that's where it stops.
That's where it stops, yeah. That'd be pretty fun to see. Then you really know who has the best arm in the league, I guess. I mean, not necessarily the most accurate arm, but we could see who's got the strongest one.
Yeah, I mean, we can mix up a bit, and like let's say there's like a bonus round where they put a target, on one of those little catching nets.
Mm-hmm.
They start from 100 yards out or whatever yards. I don't necessarily know what is an average throw if you're out in the open, but do a long throw and then try to get into the net for like bonus points, something like that.
You know what I'd like to see in a Pro Bowl game would be pretty fun?
What?
Kind of along these lines. Get a bunch of these NFL quarterbacks and go to Topgolf. And we're not using the golf clubs. Give them a bunch of footballs and let them do the point. I don't know how that works, but aim for the holes out there, and they get points based off of that. That'd be really fun to watch.
That would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. It's the same thing, but just replace the balls with a football.
Yeah, because you got distance and accuracy built in there. It might be a little too easy for them. Those targets might be a little too big, but you could create something similar, maybe with smaller targets, because some of those holes, they're huge.
Would they start on the first level or the higher levels? Because there's like the first level,
right,
and then you can go up the stairs to the second level.
I think it'd be fun to see them on the third level.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, if you're at Topgolf, you might as well take advantage of it, and that'd be really cool for TV, I think.
Yeah,
and for Topgolf, I'm sure they do good promo for them as well.
Yeah. Is there any other sort of like bonus games that you would add?
Oh man,
or challenges?
I had a hard time thinking of any that had to do specifically with football. It'd be fun to I don't know. If you want to add another stupid one in there, it'd probably be putt-putt would be fun to see.
Yeah.
Have them play like a 9-hole course of putt-putt. And I mean, you kind of see that every year you have the Pro-Am, the golf Pro-Am, and a lot of guys playing that. I think Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, they play in that. I want to say that's at Lake Tahoe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've ever seen Aaron Rodgers playing that, but it'd be fun to see him just go to a putt-putt course, something like that. I don't know.
He's pretty good at golf.
Yeah,
I remember watching it was the matchup with Brady and Rodgers against DeChambeau and I think Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah, I think that's right.
I did watch a little bit of that.
Can't remember who won, but I remember.
Oh, Rodgers won, bro.
Rodgers won, yeah.
Yeah, it was this typical fashion. Brady was losing, he was getting frustrated, and then it just didn't end so well.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad idea. Don't think of stupid ones. Just make them do the SAT.
Oh
Just
man,
watch them do the SAT, and whoever finishes last loses, and whoever scores the worst loses even more. Or do bags. Just have them play bags.
Yeah, bags would be fun. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, people watch bags on TV anyway.
It's fun to watch that. It's like college bags where like they show the player profile and it shows their major. It's like math teacher major or something. Or engineer.
Yeah, that is funny. And just have it sponsored by Johnsonville Brats, like it usually
is.
Yes,
that's a good idea.
There you go.
And Topgolf, of course, would sponsor the football challenge that you mentioned.
Topgolf Tracer. Yep, that'd be fun. I want to see that. Get on that, NFL. Come on.
In terms of the actual game itself, like flag football, do you hate it? Do you not care? Do you like it?
I feel like we'll have a better idea after we actually watch it this year. I mean, I feel like for a lot of us who are going to watch us on TV, we're not used to watching flag football. Like, we don't watch flag football. We watch football. So I feel like if you're going to have a game, just have it be football. Now, I know you probably have a less chance of injuries with flag football. But I don't know. Those guys are still going to be moving pretty fast in that field. I'm sure they'll be playing. But I just feel like, am I actually going to – I feel like I'd have a better chance of actually sitting down and watching them play real football than flag football.
I got an idea. Water polo.
Water polo.
You can play water polo.
Yeah, I do that too.
Or water basketball.
Oh, now you're talking.
No, that's fun.
I'd watch a game of water basketball.
Just watch them dunk on each other.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I bet you some of these guys.
Or a dunk contest.
Yeah,
see if they can dunk a basketball.
I can't remember when it happened. Way back when they had it was that NBA dunk contest. They brought out some MLB players to do dunks. They brought out Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds. Oh, I'm trying to remember the other ones out there. But they brought out some big players, and they were putting down dunks at the dunk contest. And I bet these NFL guys have some hops.
Oh yeah, they're very athletic. Of course they can do it.
I'm not saying Rodgers could do it.
No.
But Mahomes can get up. I bet. Josh Allen.
Speaking of Mahomes, like his brother's taller than him. He could probably dunk.
Yeah, I probably could. Yeah, put Jackson Mahomes in the dunk contest. Yeah.
If there was one player I wouldn't want to see try to make a dunk, it'd probably be someone like a running back. Yeah. Those guys are those guys are naturally shorter.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't see like Jonathan Taylor
Shorter.
or Zeke
Yeah.
or Zeke making a dunk.
Definitely not Zeke. Yeah, I don't think Zeke could get close. That'd be funny. That'd be fun to watch. I feel like the best dunker in the NFL. I mean, it'd be hard not to say Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's got hops.
I feel like he's got hops. Yeah.
I would say Jake Ferguson from the Cowboys because I saw him hurdle over a player when he was playing.
Oh, really?
I would say Christian Watson because he's super tall.
Yeah, that's true.
In general. Or Alan Lazard, he's also tall. Or DK Metcalf, he could probably dunk.
Oh, I bet he could. Yeah.
He could poster someone.
Yeah, he would put somebody on a poster for sure.
All right. I think we need to take a quick break, and then we'll transition over to actual playoff football. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. Huddy took a quick bathroom break, and I had to restart the camera. How was your bathroom break?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
God damn it, man! I'm tangled on the cord right now. Okay, there we go. That was good. Yeah, we're at work right now. We're at work, but we're not working. If that makes sense.
Right.
After work,
we're recording this after working hours.
There we go. Yes. So thank you to work for letting us use the room. Okay, so transitioning to college, the college playoffs. So right now we are in the conference championship round. So we have Eagles versus 49ers, and we got Chiefs versus Bengals. Let's start with the NFC. So, Huddy, what are your thoughts on Eagles versus 49ers?
Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one. You know, it's in Philadelphia, I believe. 49ers are just hot right now, and Brock Purdy, your boy from Iowa State, he's getting the job done.
Yeah,
he's not flashing, not super flashy. He's just going out there and they're getting wins, and a lot of that's credit to their coach. And I feel like a lot of people have been saying 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl, 49ers Chiefs. It's going to be 49ers and Chiefs rematch. And I honestly think that, the Eagles have been the best team all year round, and I'm going to stick with the Eagles. I think I'm going to go against what a lot of people think what's going to happen, and I'm going to say the Eagles get it done at home.
Oh, you think the Eagles are going to get the job done?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think Jalen Hurts. I mean, I know.
Jalen Hurts is the truth, man.
Yeah, but so is the defense coordinator for the 49ers. What's his name? D'Amico Ryans, something like that. But he's going to get a head coaching job after this season, and him versus Hurts. It's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah. My pick is a little different. I'm actually going to go with the 49ers. Yeah, Brock Purdy is looking hot right now, and it's thanks to Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He every time an inconvenience happens, whether it's a big injury, he always comes on top. Like, he adjusts so well to injuries. And John Lynch, the GM, he does a great job too. He got them CMC, and that was a huge difference maker. So Kyle Shanahan doesn't put his quarterbacks in bad positions. Like, look at Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, he wins games, but he's not the sole reason he wins games. Like, Kyle Shanahan just makes it easy to insert a quarterback and then just get the job done, and you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to play hero ball when you're working with Kyle Shanahan. And Brock Purdy, he's interesting to me because I've seen Iowa State play for 3+ years, and he was a refreshing quarterback to watch, especially for Iowa State football. My only concern with Purdy is I see him in multiple instances where it came to tight games where last possession, get the job done to win the game. I've seen it 3 times against Oklahoma, big matchups. Like that's a big boy game, beating Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, and came down to the final possession. One of them was a Big 12 championship game. Couldn't get it done.
Couldn't.
Yeah.
But you think he's going to get it done in Philly, huh?
Yes, but watching him play now, it's different. Like, he just looks more aware, and he's with a very good head coach. On top of that, has stud receivers, a stud running back, a good defense to relieve the pressure off him. Nick Bosa has the case of being the defensive player of the year next to Micah Parsons, in my opinion. So it's 2 complete teams playing against each other.
Yeah.
Now, which quarterback's going to come on top? Jalen Hurts is the truth. I think he's my pick for the MVP this year. But Brock Purdy just looks very polished, and he's in a very easy system. Oh no, yeah, the camera did die.
Oh.
Anyway, I just have more. I have more faith with Kyle Shanahan than I have against the Eagles.
Nick Sirianni.
Sirianni, that's his
Yeah,
name.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, because I just seen Kyle Shanahan do this multiple times.
He has. He has the experience of being in the Super Bowl, doesn't he? I believe. Yeah. And the Eagles coach does not. The Eagles coach was a offense coordinator for the Colts just a few years ago. So
Yes, they're both complete teams, but I like Kyle Shanahan to help get the job done. And Brock Purdy, this is a chance to prove me wrong. And if he can prove me wrong, then I believe the Super Bowl can be theirs.
will you buy a Brock Purdy jersey if he wins the Super Bowl this year?
Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any available for me to buy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was telling this to Brian. I went to watch the Cowboys 49ers game on Sunday, and there's these girls. It was at a bar. There's these group of girls. All four of them were wearing Irish State gear.
Oh, really?
I asked them, you guys here to watch the football game? Like, yeah. I was like, I'm assuming you guys are watching Brock Purdy? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's funny.
So he's a fan favorite.
He is. Yeah.
Okay, so you got Eagles. I got 49ers. We'll find out on Monday when we come back in who is going to be the loser.
That's right.
One thing I am worried about is CMC and Debo are having some injuries that are limiting them at practice. So when game time comes, we'll have to see how that plays a role.
It's true.
Okay, now for a very exciting match because this happened last year. Chiefs versus the Bengals. Who do you got on that one?
As good as the Chiefs are, I cannot bet against my man Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow just goes in and gets the job done. I don't know. I'll be interested to see who you pick, but Joe Burrow going into
You can see it right here on the piece of paper.
Chiefs. Yep, Chiefs. Anyways, I guess me and AJ are on differing opinions here, but the what the Bengals did last week in Orchard Park in Buffalo, going in there and in that weather against that Bills team that people have talked about all year long, and against the Bills team that has been turning the ball over a lot, but didn't turn the ball over much in that game at all. And they went in there and beat them 27-10 in hostile territory. Because of that, I just can't. Even and that was with the bad offensive line too. So they played really good, but it was with guys that had been cut from other teams, the backups. So if they even get one of their offensive linemen back, that's going to be big. They are going to be going up against one of the best defensive players in the league, Kansas City's defensive line. But I want to stick with the Bengals because I picked them to lose last year to the Chiefs, and they proved me wrong. Joe Burrow's got that experience of going in there and getting the win, so I'm going to stay there.
Okay, yeah, those are very fair points. Shout out to my boy Trevor. He was a depressed Bengals fan for a long time, and he's finally getting the hopes and dreams that he's been waiting for. But I'm gonna have to pick the Chiefs on this because people will try to make a big deal out of the high ankle injury, but just looking at it now, I mean, sure, it's just a video of him walking. It doesn't seem like a concern anymore. So Mahomes to me is going to be okay to play. In terms of Bengals, how they play, yeah, they've just been getting the job done. It is kind of hard to bet against them, but Mahomes and Andy Reid have done this 5 times in a row. That's an impressive feat right there. Especially you're a fresh quarterback that just got the starting role, and 5 years later you're still doing the same thing. It's no one seems to be stopping Travis Kelce. I don't know who's going to stop him this week.
It's true.
Travis Kelce is arguably one of the best tight ends in the history of football for a reason. He just gets the job done, and the connection with Mahomes just makes it happen. We were talking about this at work. Eli Apple just going to get cooked this weekend. He probably will. I mean, it's always hit or miss with these cornerbacks or defensive backs.
Yeah,
it's just either going to look really good or look really bad, and that will happen. But the rest of the defense, that's a solid lineup, man. And we saw them come up strong last year in this matchup against the Chiefs.
The good news for Eli Apple this week is that Kansas City doesn't really have. They don't have Tyreek Hill. They don't have Stephon Diggs. They don't have those kind of caliber wide receivers. So that's the one area in Eli Apple that like we'll see. He's going against some very like mid-par wide receivers, I feel like.
Yeah. The difference is compared to last year is the Chiefs' run game is more efficient. According to some stats I was looking up, their run game efficiency is third. And I would have told you that stat last year. That's crazy. That Chiefs aren't a running team.
Yeah.
They got the running game figured out this time. So with that in their arsenal, their offense is probably going to look a lot more dominant this time around versus last year.
Who's getting the most touches for them out of the backfield? Now that fantasy football is over, I haven't paid as much attention to which guys are getting the most carries, but I'm guessing it's either McKinnon or Pacheco.
I'm going to guess McKinnon.
Yeah, I think it's McKinnon.
Yeah, it's the spread is right. It's going to be close. It's +1 for the Bengals, and it's going to be a close game. I'm going to lean towards the Chiefs just because I've seen Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce do it multiple times. Joe Burrow, he's a great story. He's a great quarterback. He's very disciplined in his craft. But at some point, man, your O-line problem is going to have to hinder you, just like it did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Now, those are your picks for the game, but who will you be rooting for in the games?
I'm rooting for 49ers.
49ers.
I like Shanahan. I like Brock Purdy. Chiefs and Bengals, I don't really like to root for either one of them because as much as I was just talking great things about Patty Mahomes, I'm kind of tired of just seeing Patty Mahomes just always do it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just jealous because my guy is not the guy anymore. Hopefully he will become the guy again before he retires, that being Aaron Rodgers. But it's just more like I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs and the Bengals. I'm tired of being wrong because I remember because I shouted my boy Trevor because I was like, man, dude, Joe Burrow doesn't have any O-line pieces. Joe Burrow's on a shitty team. This ain't going to work out for him when he goes to the Bengals. And I've been wrong. So I'm more like I'm being a hater because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs, and I'm being a hater because I'm tired of being wrong about the Bengals.
Yep. Hey, there you go. All right.
I'll work on it, though. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah.
How about you?
Between the Bengals and the Chiefs, I will be going for the Bengals. I really want to see Joe Burrow make it back to the Super Bowl. I mean, can you imagine two of his first 3 seasons or 4 seasons? It'd be two. Yeah. 2 of his first 3 seasons be making it to the Super Bowl. That'd be insane. I mean, he's writing his legacy as we speak. He could be one of the greatest quarterbacks we see. But I'll be going for the Bengals there. And then on the other side, between 49ers and Eagles, I don't have as much preference in this game. I'll kind of be happy with whichever team wins. I mean, it'd be cool to see the Brock Purdy story, 49ers make it to the Super Bowl. It'd also be cool to see Jalen Hurts and the Eagles make it as well. So I don't have a preference there as much. I would just rather not see the Chiefs back. I see the Bengals there.
If Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, is it the same exact story as Tom Brady's first Super Bowl?
I don't know. Brock Purdy's a rookie.
Was Brady a rookie or was he a second year?
I feel like he wasn't a rookie.
Okay.
And what's also crazy is that Brock Purdy was the last pick in the NFL draft. Tom Brady was in the 6th round. Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant.
Well, Mr. Relevant now.
Yeah, Mr. Relevant.
My buddy got that Mr. Relevant T-shirt.
I can already see it on the cover of a Sports Illustrated magazine. Mr. Relevant. Came from you right here.
There we go.
Lyle, Illinois.
There we go. Jesus. Cool. So I can't remember. Did you say your Super Bowl pick?
I did not.
Who are you picking?
Well, I think it's going to be Bengals Eagles.
Bengals Eagles,
yep.
And I got 49ers Chiefs. So it doesn't matter because we're not going to have the same pick. So who do you think is going to win the whole thing said and done?
I'm just going to stick with the team that was the best all season. I'm going to say the Eagles.
Okay. I guess I'm going. This is one thing we agree on. We both are going to agree on the NFC. So I got 49ers winning it all.
All right. There we go.
Okay, we got time for one more. Hey, we got a little bit more time. A little more time for one more topic, and it's going to be the transfer portal. What do you got for me?
The college football transfer portal.
Yes.
We are in the heat of it right now. Well, most guys have already transferred, already found their new schools. But I kind of wanted to mention some of the biggest names in college football that have transferred. Then also talk about your Wisconsin Badgers I
had on my list.
And what are all of those quarterbacks doing there? They got Wisconsin got 3 transfer quarterbacks come in. Usually you transfer because A, you're not playing a whole lot, or B, you don't like it, but probably mostly because you're not playing a ton, or you just don't like the school. It's not a good fit. But to have 3 guys transfer into Wisconsin, I mean, 1 or 2 of those guys are definitely going to enter the transfer portal again. Here's those 3 guys. You got Nick Evers from Oklahoma, Tanner Mordecai from Southern Methodist University, and then most recently Braden Locke from Mississippi State.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Luke Fickle effect. Like, Fickle has a college playoff resume. Mm-hmm. Like, he made the college playoffs, so he's an attractive person. That's why he got the good Wisconsin job. Because other people are falling. That's falling that. And this is, hey man, Graham Mertz. I'm thankful you did it at Wisconsin. Hopefully it's a good fit for. I think he went to Florida or Florida State.
Oh, did he?
But I think it was just I think it's just a good time to leave, and we'll see what happens, because I don't see the other Wisconsin recruits doing that good for the QB starting job. And I think these guys transfer because it's an easy job to win in their eyes. Mm-hmm. If I were to pick one that is probably going to be the starter, Tanner Mordecai, just because that man has had back-to-back seasons with 30-plus TDs. I can't remember if the last one's ever happened for a Wisconsin quarterback. So he just looks the most polished. The argument can be made that he played weaker teams, but it's still an upgrade compared to the other Wisconsin quarterbacks.
That's who I would pick too. That's my first game prediction for Wisconsin's starter is Tanner Mordecai. Would be cool to see him do well there. Kind of a sidebar here. Do you think Luke Fickle, will he bring his style of play from Cincinnati, or will he keep that same style of play that Wisconsin's been known for? And that style is running the ball, throwing it to tight ends, kind of that slow, methodical style of football that Wisconsin's known for. Are they going to keep doing that, or will they bring in a different style with Fickle?
The thing that's going to stay is the defense first. Mm-hmm. Fickle is defensive-minded. Wisconsin is defensive-minded across all sports, including basketball. So that's going to stay for sure. In terms of the offensive side of things, they recently got the offensive coordinator from UNC.
Okay, I think I saw that.
Yes, so if you know the quarterback for UNC, it's Drake Mays.
No, that's right.
And he's probably going to be an early Heisman prediction for the upcoming season, and he looked really good this year. So maybe the offense is going to be a little bit more friendly with the pass, just because it's a refreshing offensive coordinator that's not groomed by the Wisconsin program. Because most of those coordinators, they have a history of being directly related to Wisconsin. Oh, was it off or something?
No, I'm just looking at it.
I almost forgot about it.
Yeah.
So it's an outsider. It's an outsider for the head coaching position. It's an outsider for the offensive coordinator position, and it's also an outsider for the defensive position as well. Mm-hmm. But because Luke Fickle's defensive mind, I think defense is still going to be a key thing. But the offense is probably going to be a little different, especially if he's not going to be calling the plays and the offensive coordinator is going to.
Right, that's true. Do you know who Drake May's brother is?
Did he play basketball?
Yeah, Luke May.
That's why it sounded familiar.
He had a big shot in the NCAA tournament when he played. I can't remember what round or who it was against, but I just remember him hitting a big shot.
Yes, that's why the last name sounded so familiar. Mm-hmm. I couldn't connect the dots until you pointed it out.
Yep, they're brothers.
One transfer I want to point out is Travis Hunter. He's going from JSU to Colorado to follow his man Deion Sanders. He's been a very interesting person to follow, player to follow, because he was the number one recruit in his class. Got into the hype of Deion Sanders playing for HBCU, and then now he's still going to follow him. Now he's going to play now that Deion Sanders coaching the Pac-12 at Colorado. So it's just going to be another effect to where you get a big transfer that follows you. Other big transfers or recruits are going to follow you into Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think Colorado's going to be pretty good next year with all the guys they've already gotten to come in. We'll see, but
I think the expectation is they're going to have a better season, but it's not going to be like Pac-12 championship or bust, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be the 2024 season where all the eyes are going to be on them.
Yeah. They could be a playoff team at that point. Who knows? We don't know what Deion Sanders.
Well, if they expand the playoffs, yeah, they can be a playoff
Oh,
team.
that's true. Yeah, they definitely can. I wrote down a couple of other big transfers. I feel like it's easiest to see the transfers at the quarterback because that's who we're most familiar with. So another one I had was a guy that came in last year on the Heisman watch, but I think he got hurt and just didn't have the year that we all expected. That's Sam Hartman.
I have on my list too.
The Wake Forest quarterback. He's transferring to Notre Dame. I think he'll be a good fit there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, their style quarterbacks are very, just pocket passer, not super athletic, but has good mechanics.
Right. Similar to Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, kind
Yeah.
of. And yeah, I mean, that's a good example because Notre Dame's second to last quarterback was a Wisconsin quarterback. Shout out to my man, Jack Conan. So yeah, they like that kind of polished, just good pocket quarterbacks. So yeah, I think it'd be a good fit for Sam Hartman. Another quarterback that I find someone to note is DJ Ugalele. I had a segment that he was announced that he's going to leave Clemson, and I've been told he's going to Oregon State, which is a very interesting one.
That's right. Yeah, I have no idea why he'd be going to Oregon State.
Maybe it's the same thing with some transfers. It's an easy job to win for him.
Yeah. I also don't know where he's from. Is he from Hawaii? I want to say he's from Hawaii. We are doing some on the show fact checking here.
I gotta know how to spell his name first.
Yeah, I gave it my best shot. He is from the Inland Empire.
That's cool. If I knew where that place was at.
Metropolitan area of Southern California. Okay, guess he's not from Hawaii.
Yeah, he's from the West Coast, so
Yeah.
maybe he wants to be close to home.
Yeah, I guess so. And was it Oregon State who had a pretty good season last year? Yeah,
they
that's
did a
right.
good season.
I can't remember what they finished with the record, but
They beat Oregon, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they kind of came out of nowhere and played pretty well. Who knows? Maybe Oregon State will be a team to watch next year. We had such high expectations for him after Trevor Lawrence. He came in as a 5-star quarterback, I want to say.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to take over for Trevor Lawrence and just pick up right where Trevor left off, but he obviously didn't. Things didn't work out there, and now he's on the road.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on DJ Ugalele because when Trevor Lawrence got COVID, he stepped in. I think he was a true freshman or a redshirt freshman, and I just wasn't that impressed with how he performed. And then the following season, that's when Clemson had their down year, and he just wasn't impressing me on that year. So I just had a feeling that he was either going to get replaced or he's going to transfer.
Yeah.
And technically both happened.
That's true. Let's see if I think I wrote down another one here. Another quarterback I wrote down was this one flew under the radar a little bit more. So what the quarterback at Texas, Quinn Ewers, I believe is his name. He was a really big deal, 5-star, went to Ohio State and then transferred to Texas. Well, he got hurt last year. I believe he got hurt in the Alabama game, I want to say. And Texas brought in this quarterback, Hudson Card. Shout out to guys named Hudson. Hudson Card, and I think everybody was pretty impressed with how he played. He ended up playing a few more games that season due to Ewers' injury. But Hudson Card is transferring out of Texas, and he transferred to, you probably never guess it, Purdue.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I do remember that.
So he'll be playing at Purdue, and that's interesting because Purdue has a first-year head coach because Jeff Brom, Purdue's old coach, left to go to his alma mater, Louisville.
Oh, cool.
So that's just another one to keep an eye out on. We pretty much had all the same ones written down, I think, other than that.
Yeah. That's all I had on my list.
Yeah. Only other thing I wrote down was some of the biggest coaching changes that happened in college football.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have Jeff, who I just mentioned, Jeff Brom, who went from Purdue to Louisville, excuse me. Hugh Freeze, who used to be the coach at Ole Miss, but then he's been the coach at Liberty the last few years. He's going to Auburn. And then we have Matt Rule, who was very successful at Baylor, went to the Panthers, got fired. He's going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to watch. Obviously, Deion Sanders from Jackson State to Colorado. And then, as we talked earlier, Luke Fickell from Cincinnati to Wisconsin.
Yeah, the Nebraska hire, that didn't really surprise me. It's not a very appealing job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the pay is really good, but in terms of like the reputation, it's just been a down program for 20 years, it seems like.
Yeah.
But like,
do you think he'll restore that?
With Matt Rule, it makes sense because he's already down bad.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I was an NFL coach and now I got cut. I'll take what's in front of me. Oh, this job seems cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
It's true. Yeah, I'll see how he does. It'll be fun to watch.
Are you going to ask me something?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was it, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Huddy, for coming back on. Thank you again for the logo. I will pay you handsomely for it. Thanks again for coming on, and thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Every little bit helps. Any last words, Huddy, before we close off?
Go Hoosiers.
Go Hoosiers.
That's all I got.
Shout out to that pizza place I went to. What was it?
Could have been in Bloomington.
Yeah.
It could have been Mother Bear. Could have been X Pizza.
God, I think it was like dough something or something.
There's probably something there.
It was a pretty good. I remember having really good dough. Like the crust was really good.
There's lots of good pizza in B-Town.
Something tells me it's like a Italian mobster theme.
Oh, really?
God, what was it? It wasn't Goodfellas.
Well, that's where you went in You went there in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
Oh, when you were in Indianapolis?
Oh, Indianapolis.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, it was Goodfellas. Yeah.
Goodfellas,
Yeah.
yes. But Goodfellas was good in Indianapolis, and I have been to University of Indiana when I was in college. The place is pretty fun too.
Oh, yeah.
Went to this party, and
Here we go.
it was fun.
It was fun.
Just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
All right, thanks again, Huddy, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
All right.